Thank you for listening to this podcast from TRE, Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain and around the world. For more information, please visit tre.radio.
Discuss, challenge, inform, comment, Viewpoint on Talk Radio Europe.
Giles Brown.
Live comment and discussion with studio guests. Viewpoint.
It is Tuesday, the 24th of March. Welcome to Viewpoint, Talk Radio Europe's current affairs program with a panel of invited guests who are already chomping at the bit, where we discuss the issues of the day with you for the next 2 hours. You have to turn the volume up. Yes, that's the way there we go. Not on me, listeners. The panel are just getting themselves prepared. Fear not. We will get that. We'll get our top techs in there. Or failing that, I'll come around in a minute and strike the thing hard and decommunicate. Are we in there? It's like watching ham radio. That's where we go. Up and running. Right then, with you for the next 2 hours. Discussing the issues of the day. No prizes for guessing what's going to be top of our menu today, of course. The ongoing situation in the Gulf. Are we any nearer to an end to hostilities in Iran? President Trump claiming he'd spoken to Iran, to top people in Iran. Certain top people in Iran saying that is fake news. And so where on earth are we with this? We will be seeing what are your thoughts on that? If you've got any viewpoint on that issue, anything international, national or local, then these are the numbers.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
And as always, we have a poll running on the Facebook page, Talk Radio Europe Official on Facebook. With Trump's claims of talks with Iran, are we any closer to an end to the conflict? 1% of you think yes, 16% of you think no, and 83% of you don't think they're in talks at all. So if you want to get yourself into that, into the melee that is social media, then those are the ways you can do it. Let's have a look at the front pages of the papers and see what they're saying today before we get going with the panel. Trump blinks first is the headline in the Daily Mail, which says the US president has dramatically pulled back from the brink by postponing his deadline for Iran to reopen the Straits of Hormuz. Financial Times believes surging oil prices and lackluster public support are behind Trump's change of tack. Most of the papers carry pictures of the arson attacks in North London on ambulances owned by a Jewish community group. Daily Express calls for the government to eliminate the ancient scourge of anti-Semitism, while the Daily Telegraph says the oldest hatred is rising again. The Guardian and the iPaper highlight the fact that the security services are investigating whether a group linked to Iran was behind the attack. The Times claims that efforts to renew the deal that sees the UK pay France for patrols to stop small boats crossing are being held up by Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood. The paper says she wants any new agreement to make the funding conditional on how many migrants French police intercept. The Home Office did not comment directly, but confirmed it was looking for flexibility and innovation. Calls for police to stop using live facial recognition cameras over fears of a racial bias are featured in the Daily Mirror. It says Essex Police has already paused its programme after experts found it identified more black people than any other groups. The force says inaccurate identifications were extremely rare and the software had now been tweaked. The Times has picked up on the latest hot pursuit in Hampshire for Samba, the sunbathing capybara, I think that's how you pronounce it. The 9-month-old rodent escaped from Marwell Zoo last week and was spotted at the weekend enjoying the sunshine near the River Itchen. She's still on the loose. And despite a search involving drones and sniffer dogs. The Daily Express is one of a number of titles that cover a study in which it's found that lots of small behaviours could significantly cut a person's risk of having a heart attack or stroke. One suggestion from the scientists was getting an average of an extra 11 minutes of sleep a night. So the paper suggests readers snooze their way to good health and ask why will not start now. Those front pages then from the top. The Daily Telegraph, Trump, I'll run the straight with Ayatollah. The Daily Mail, Trump blinks first. The Financial Times, Trump touts diplomatic end to war. The Guardian, Trump stalls strikes amid claims of productive talks with Tehran. The Independent, Trump's halt bombs, but Iran says talks claim is fake news. The Metro leads of a different ambulance torched by bigots saved my baby's life. The iPaper, UK investigates possible Iran link to arson attacks on Jewish ambulances. The Daily Express, we must work to eliminate this ancient scourge. The Times, Trump, I'd bet on deal with Iran. The Daily Mirror, it's not over. Trump claims he's held peace talks with Tehran. Iranian says it didn't happen. As Starmer warns war could go on for some time. The Sun leads on a story saying that the BBC's repair shop has been pulled after a TV production worker was offended by what they saw as a sexist joke made by comedian Bob Monkhouse. The episode was meant to focus on restoring the late comedian's handwritten joke books from the 60s, but it was axed after a complaint. Barmy Beeb bans Bob is theirs. And finally, the Daily Star reports that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has installed a new mobile home to act as staff quarters on the grounds of his Norfolk home. So they've called him here, it's Vandy. Andy Windsor's new staff quarters. And those are your headlines on this Tuesday, the 24th of March.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
So, right then, something tells me this is going to be a very interesting viewpoint indeed. So, to my left, no, I'll wait for it to get to my far right. Andres Cayano.
Good morning from the far right.
How is Santiago Abascal today?
I don't know. It hasn't called me today.
He hasn't called you today. To my left, the lovely Alia Babapure. Good morning to you, Alia.
Good morning, Giles. Good morning, panel, and good morning, world.
And good morning. And talking about the world, good morning to the nicest man in radio, joining us one more time before he goes back to the frozen climes of Toronto. We're on it. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Giles, and thank you for the invitation, and I look forward to seeing you again next year.
Oh, yes, we've got 2 hours to get through yet, my friend. That invitation may be rescinded. So that's looking at the front pages this morning, and also looking at what we've been seeing. I mean, this quite remarkable sort of 24 hours, 48 hours. 1 second they're going to obliterate. Watching Trump's speeches yesterday, he was visiting National Guard down in Tennessee, I think it was, or down in Elvis country. Because he visited Graceland yesterday as well. So he was saying that he'd been in talks to the top people in Iran because otherwise they'd have to obliterate them, and that wouldn't be very good at all. And then Iran says, well, we don't, the top Iranians presumably from their bunkers. Well, he's not talked to us. And everybody else is saying, well, we see the word of the day seems to be exit ramp, i.e. Trump's got to have an exit ramp to get off from. So, I mean, do you say, Andres, any particular cambio de sentido in the Trump strategy at the moment?
Well, this is so confusing. I mean, Trump confuses me every day that he opens his mouth.
Right. Confuses himself.
It could be the case. Has there been any talks with the Iranians on the thing? I think everyone would like to think that there have been, but my fear is that there haven't been any talks. I don't think they're at that stage yet. But of course, I would like to think that there's something going on to bring the conflict to an end, or try to. Because if we continue with this rhetoric of if you hit me, I'll hit you more, and now no, I will hit you more, it's just a spiral of violence that we won't see the end of it. And on top of that, we're sitting here in Europe looking at it as spectators, but suffering the consequences. So, what can I say? Nothing much has changed from last week.
Alia, you were look, you got the glasses on. Hello, here you go. Stand back.
There we go. Yeah. I was looking at certain things, and it's Friday's press gaggle, barely exaggerated.
Right.
Trump told reporters he wanted a ceasefire with Iran. Then he declared victory. Then he announced he was sending Marines. Then he said no boots on the ground. He said then he did not want a ceasefire. Then he declared victory again. He asked for a ceasefire. Then he told NATO they were cowards. He said Iran was begging for a ceasefire. Then he said everything was perfect. Then he said $500 was a good thing. $500.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Then he demanded Iran open the Hormuz.
For a barrel. $500 for a barrel was a good thing. Right,
and then he said Hormuz was never closed. Then he said this was not a war with Iran. And then he declared victory with Iran. I mean, what? How on earth can you justify any of this? This is the ramblings of a completely deranged, sick person. And the worst thing is that all of the people around him letting him do it are equally as deranged and sick. There is no form of government in the US. Am I right?
Exactly, yes.
There is no form of government whatsoever. If you see the monstrosities and horrific things that are going on towards their own citizens, of the people of the US, how on earth can you have somebody like that making any headway with any negotiations which is affecting the whole world? It isn't. It's like Andreas was saying, one says this and the other one says that, and if you don't do this, then we do that. That sort of thing you see in a children's playground. And then you go in and sort it out. But this is not a question of how can we sort it out. It's huge. And it's very bad.
You know when Michael Bolton starts singing and he comes in at like that level, high level. I mean, Alia, that's blimey. I mean,
just what I don't understand, and I've been familiar with Trump since back in the early teens, 2012, 13, whatever, when he started getting involved in politics. But just he's got this tell. You can always tell when he's lying because every interview since then has been a lie. He's a sick man. And the easiest way to tell when he's lying to you is that his lips are moving. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. He's a sick man. And the problem is that I think he believes it. He believes his own lies. He has these dreams at night or something, and he comes up with all this stuff, and, the man's not well.
The rubbish he puts out at 3 o'clock in the morning.
What, 3 o'clock in the... Yes, Andreas.
When all this started at the very beginning, I really thought in my naivety that there was a master plan behind all this, that we're going to, strike a change of regime, and they're going to pacify the whole of the Middle East, and they were going to... But every day passes by, I realized that there was no plan. Whatever measures were before everything started were completely measured wrongly, and everything that could go wrong is going wrong, and now you see there are two dominant motives here in this war. One is Israel, which is fighting a different war than the United States. Israel is fighting for their survival against the enemies they've had around the country through the terrorist organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis and everything else. So they are fighting for survival, for existence. And then you've got the US war, which is the control of the natural resources, oil, gas, and everything else, and have a control of geoeconomics bigger, so the bigger cake for the United States. Now, if the United States were to pull out of this war, they could somehow wash their face by saying, it's been a kind of a victory because there's no nuclear threat anymore, which is something of a grey area, and we've done the job and we'll get out. The problem, if they do, is that Israel will still have a very strong enemy in the area trying to damage them and trying to bomb them out of existence. So there is a two-race war here with two different outcomes, where I think the United States can wash their face, where Israel is going to remain in the middle of the whole thing in a perhaps more dangerous situation. If the best outcome could be that in the next 2 or 3 years, things, after the war, might come down until the Iranians and the groups surrounding the Iranian control regroup and rearm, and they'll be back again with the same problem. So whatever is the outcome is not going to be any good, or it doesn't look that it's going to be good. I hope I'm wrong.
Israel is not looking good at all. Have you seen the photographs coming out of it?
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the things here is, because obviously everybody's going on about Trump, but if you're looking at what's happening with, we have the strike, we have the, Tel Aviv's getting bombed, there's the exchange of missiles between Iran and Israel, but also they're taking this opportunity to take the fight to Hezbollah in Beirut, saying they're attacking infrastructure. It could be a Hezbollah base. Now, the problem with that is the fact, unless you've got a large Hezbollah flag flying from the top of your building, which, believe it or not, we're not back in the Middle Ages, so they're not home standards. That basically means that they are taking, they are striking against Beirut, and Beirut was just getting back on its feet. I mean, I've got friends who'd opened up, a rather nice boutique hotel, and that got, that's been obviously not a lot of business coming their way. But if you're taking the war to an infrastructure from a terrorist group by their very nature, and the IRA didn't have a big flag saying you are now, apart from you are now welcoming to bandit country, didn't have that big flag saying, big knife flashing neon sign saying IRA headquarters, please attack us. And the same with this. So you're going to be hitting infrastructure in what is, a neutral country. And the other day they went after Syria as well. And you just think, well, Netanyahu's got in a bit of a situation here as well. He's got elections coming up. Trump's got elections coming up as well. Or the American
cheat.
Sorry?
Trump is going to cheat.
Don't hold back on what you mean, Alia, this time around. I mean, you really have come in all guns blazing today.
Because I'm fed up with it, Giles.
There's a big difference in public opinion in the United States and Israel, where in the United States, even some Republicans are criticizing the actions.
Right.
In Israel, you've got a large percentage of people who support what they're doing because they are fighting for their existence and their survival. So there's different motives there.
Not to play devil's avocado here, or whatever we want to call it, but the thing is, but then again we saw the demonstrations against Netanyahu, previous to, after the because of the hostage situation like that. I mean, do you think that the people of Israel are behind him on these attacks that could lead to even more? I mean, we're seeing people being killed being wounded in Tel Aviv. We're seeing that situation on the West Bank. There's still, violence between settlers and Palestinians, or whatever you want to call them, there. I mean, the
support comes from from the polls that I've seen. There may be other polls that say differently, right. And also it's a fact that a lot of people inside Israel are against Netanyahu. They don't like him. Not only in Israel but outside Israel. I mean, you got a lot of Jewish people that I know, and they don't like Netanyahu. So the difference between what happens in Israel, that you can stand in the Shuka Carmel and say I don't like Netanyahu and don't get arrested, is different to what happens in Tehran when you protest against the government and you could be arrested or even killed. So there is a different sort of balance there in terms of how much of your opinion can be expressed or not.
952-784-1000. It's going to be very interesting to see, though, how Trump's going to, how the Republican Party is going to fare in the midterms, because again, this was the whole situation was they weren't getting involved in any foreign wars.
Peace.
Sorry?
The Board of Peace.
Yeah,
of the Board of Peace.
How's that working out? How's the Board of Peace working out?
Exactly.
We haven't heard an awful lot from. Actually, we haven't heard a lot from the UN either. To be honest, to be fair, I'm playing very much devil's advocate today, but we haven't heard anything from the UN. I
think Trump is just making up titles that make him look more important around the world. He comes up with all kinds of stupid things. He's just, I don't understand how all these people 71 million people voted for him in the last election.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And 89 just sat on their backside.
But that was 50% of the population of people with an IQ under 12.
You see, listeners, if we had the webcam up, to see the pain on Ron's face there, the disbelief. It's quite. I mean, as somebody who lives north of the border,
I think what our Prime Minister should do, Mark Carney, I think we should just start spreading gossip all over the place that we're going to take over Alaska. We're going to make it our 11th province. just to see the reaction from Trump.
They would, I think, have drilling going on there, would you?
Yeah, but I think
gold and all kind of stuff.
What's Canada's relationship with Greenland like? That would be to steal a march.
Yeah.
Well, you should actually
swap
take
Eskimos.
You could. They're not Eskimos anymore, and we know.
Inuits,
Thank
Inuits.
you. And we haven't. One of the quite a few of them are our friends. Morning, Kitty. But I mean. What is the Canadian? I mean, he really. If you want to bring the country together or one thing, he really did sort of that whole "we're going to take over Canada and Canada relies on us." And I think the steely look, listeners, I'm getting now, as if the brave Canadians haven't done their bit. I mean, they talk about getting involved with their allies. The Canadians got involved with us in the Second World War quicker than the Americans did. So, Ron, what is your peculiar take on what has it brought together Canada in a general sort of, well, we're not going south of the border anymore, even those from Montreal, for example?
We have two parties. We've got the progressive conservatives and we've got the liberals. Yeah. And, people switch back and forth all the time, and it has a lot to do with who our prime minister is. Mark Carney he's brilliant.
Yes.
And he's got a huge percentage of the population in favor of him. So at our next election, he would be, he's only been there a year.
Yeah.
And I think he's gone up, I don't know what it is, 16 or 17% in popularity. But he's popular around the world as well, with a lot of the prime ministers and presidents all over the world. He's just, I don't know.
In the way that perhaps Trudeau was a bit of a poster boy and all smoke and mirrors, do you think?
Yeah. I just, after about 2 years, I just started ignoring Canadian politics. But I just... what I do is I just look at my riding where I live.
Right.
And right now, the politician in our riding is a progressive conservative, Adam Chambers. Right. But I've known Adam Chambers since he was a kid. He was a friend of my daughter's.
Right.
So when the election came, even though I was supporting Carney, I voted for him because I wanted him to be in charge of our riding, because I vote for the person that I think is going to do the most for me. That's kind of greedy, not who's going to do the most for our country, but for me, if I have a problem that involves the federal government, I can call his office and they'll look after it.
Yeah.
It just...
But that's politics, by the people, for the people. That surely
exactly. Yeah.
Wasn't Carney the head of the Bank of England?
He was indeed.
He's not a fool, that man. He's a very, very clever man.
They actually stole him from Canada.
Yes.
They stole him.
He was in charge of our banks in Canada.
Well,
prior to going to England, yeah.
He went out to shovel some snow. You see, in the MI5, they nipped him and took him back to the Bank of England.
Carney's wife is just as brilliant as he is.
Yes,
right.
Such a clever.
Do you think, Ron? Now that we got Ron here from Canada, we'll take the opportunity to ask him questions.
Go for it.
It's hurting already.
So, do you think, since the announcements of all these tariffs and all this trade war with Canada, has that made a lot of difference, in your opinion, with what's happening between the two countries?
Yeah,
or it's made no difference whatsoever, what all the tariffs and all the trading and everything else? What would you...
Trump has rescinded a lot of the things that he said he was going to do in the beginning. But what's happened in Canada is, I have a lot of friends that have places in Florida that have bought houses, they have trailers, they spend their winters there every year. And their numbers are way, way down because they're staying at home. They're traveling to Canada, they're coming to Spain, they're coming different places in Europe and down into South America. So it's not ruined, but it's certainly put a huge dent in the tourism from Canada going into the United States. Like, lots of friends of mine used to go to Arizona, they would go to Florida, any of the nice warm climates in the winter. But this year they're not. They're staying home, or they're going out to British Columbia, where it's not the sunshine you're going to get in Mexico or Florida, but it's comfortable, and it's just...
And what about the trade? Do you think it's affected, or you don't have to?
I think what it's done, it's affected the Americans more than it has us.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Their prices have gone crazy because of the tariffs that we put on.
Yeah.
And Canadians are not buying American products.
No.
I've seen.
So the prediction that prices would go up in the United States and the United States consumer would be more damaged by it is been proven to be the case, in your opinion, yeah?
I'll give you one example of what's happened with the trade, is that there's huge support all across Canada about buying Canadian, groceries, whatever it is. But the one big one was liquor. And our Jack Daniels was a huge product of the United States that was sold in Canada. And the Liquor Control Board, which sells all our liquor in Canada, they took it right off their shelves. I forget what it was. It was $8 billion or something like that. Millions and millions of dollars went off the shelf, and it's sitting in storage or was sent back for credit or something. I don't know what they did with it. Wow. Thank God I don't drink. I would have been looking for discounts. But, that's just...
They're having a party.
That's just
it's interesting to hear it firsthand from a Canadian, just to see what your view on that. I find it very interesting. I'm doing your job here.
It's all right. No,
when I go shopping in Canada, I'm looking for stuff that's made in Canada on the shelves in the grocery stores.
Right.
Same with clothing, anything. And there's a lot of people that are doing the same as I am. Yeah. We're looking for things that aren't made. Well, I'd rather buy something from China, even though it may be, down a little bit in content, but I would rather give some money to China than I would give it to the United States right now. And there's a lot of people that are following that route in Canada.
952-784,000. Took a quick break and then back with more Viewpoints.
Viewpoint.
Always live. Always live. I'm joined in the studio by Ali Ababapule, Andres Gallardo and Ron Yates. And if you want to get your viewpoint across, then these are the numbers, national, international or local.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
So then we're doing a special feature, Ask the Canadian, today on Talk Radio Europe. We got a live one. We brought him in.
I just came to listen.
You just came to listen. I had that once with a guest who wanted to come on, and then when we got there, he said, "No, I just actually wanted to come on and listen." He sat, and he was a very nice gentleman, but he sat actually where you are, and this is the old studio, and just sat there nodding sagely, which doesn't really work well on radio, nodding sagely, nodding at all.
Doesn't it come across?
It doesn't come across unless you've got unless you're head banging and you can hear you swishing.
Squeaky chair.
Let's
I got my hair done for radio.
Yeah, from radio.
I was going to say, no one noticed that I had a haircut.
I did.
Oh, we did.
You did, but listeners can't see it. So you need a camera here so they can see the hand gestures.
You don't need a camera in the studio. Trust me on this one.
I'm not allowed to, because when I get home, my grandson is a hairdresser, so I have to wait till I get home now to get my hair done.
When are you coming home, Grandpa? With the shears? Are they going to meet you at the airport? With what? With the scissors. With the scissors. Well, I'll tell you who's going to be waiting at the airport in the States. Apparently, is the ICE are now going to take over from the what they call it? The TSA, yeah, because of this is a knock-on effect of the freeze, and the fact that yet another government shutdown, and they've got agents who haven't been paid since a month, 2 months,
over 2 months.
Yeah,
I saw the video this morning of somebody being arrested.
Yes,
in an airport, a woman being arrested as an illegal immigrant. Yeah.
No, but okay. So now they have put ICE agents, yes. Which is
it wasn't ICE agents. It was 2 ICE agents that were arresting her.
Now that's got to be concerning, hasn't it? I mean, to have.
And they physically...
It was horrible.
Yeah, but I mean, let's put this into context. Trump won the election on the basis that he was going to deal with illegal immigration. Okay.
Yeah.
So up to there, it's okay, because people voted for him because they wanted some kind of control and some kind of regulation regarding illegal immigration. Up to that point, I think most people would agree that, okay, that's reasonable. What is unreasonable is the way he has implemented that control of the immigration by sending these paratroopers out there in the name of the federal state to arrest whatever you want to call them, this ICE agency. They are out there arresting indiscriminately people, children, all sorts of things. Not only that, if you sort of blink at them in the wrong way, they might even shoot you. We've seen in a couple of cases. So is the concept, it's okay. The way he's gone about it is completely the wrong way, and it's just giving in to the people who don't want any kind of control on immigration. Where the reality is that 71 million people voted, amongst other things, for the control of immigration.
But here's the thing: as a frequent traveller, all of you, I mean, more frequent than I just get the bus somewhere. But I mean, Ali, now how to phrase this nicely, you've been around the world a few times.
I certainly have. I intend to do it more often.
and Ron on Air Canada, I mean, they basically have a seat resigned for you, don't they? Let's face it. So, I mean, we're just talking. This has had a knock-on effect on, as you said, you could call it residential tourism from Canada to the States of Florida, and obviously for those of us who are we're thinking of going to the States. It's going to, I mean, Ali, as a woman of colour, I mean,
I wouldn't be let in anyway because of all my posts about everything and the way I stand there and scream and shout and shake my whatever. Because it is, if you want to try and get into the States at the moment, you have to show 5 years of your social media post $15,000 before you even apply for the visa. That is now what they want. And apart from everything else, talking about the immigration and so on, Andres, under President Obama, he actually deported more, in parentheses, illegal immigrants than has been done. But he did it in the process of law. So everything that he did was legal. This is indiscriminate. If I was to walk in, I couldn't walk in there. I wouldn't want to anyway. And the thing is, it is so stupid because, excuse me for saying, but the people who think they're white, you're not. You're pink with bits of brown thrown in different colours, things. You lie in the sun. You spend a fortune on suntan lotions and everything trying to get my colour. I don't have to do anything for it. This is so stupid. It is so stupid. It beggars belief. And to just say that these people are coming in illegally and so on and so forth. Crops are rotting. Nobody wants to do the jobs which the immigrants did. There is a huge problem with all the farming and all the produce being put onto the shelves. The prices have skyrocketed because of all of this. Now there's a huge scandal going on because in one of the detention centres, apparently girls have been found to be pregnant. Now, they weren't pregnant when they went into that detention centre, so what the heck happened?
Cool, that's a question that requires an answer.
Oh, yeah.
We're not even
I don't think that's uncommon. No.
And they're being taken off to another facility somewhere where nobody is keeping an eye on what's going on. I mean, the whole thing is just, it's awful. Awful.
I can tell you the best thing that ever happened to me was 15 years ago when I was going down to the States with a friend who was Scottish and she had a British passport. And they had stapled a daily visa the year before when she went over to shop for a day, stapled it into her passport.
Yes.
And she thought it had to stay there because they stapled it in. So when her and I went up to the bridge at the Ambassador Bridge, and I got to the customs and I just handed the guy their 2 passports. The guy went absolutely ballistic. I've never heard anybody that rude working for the government. He was just, the language was just, and I told him a couple of times to calm down. I said, she's a Catholic school teacher in Canada, has been for 25 years. Does she look like a terrorist to you? I said, she made a mistake. And then he said, she didn't make a mistake. She knew exactly what she was doing. I said, you know something? You're right. She did make a mistake. You people did when you ruined a government document by stapling that visa into her passport. Well, we couldn't get across. My house was paid for 3 months in Florida, and we couldn't get over. And so 4 months later, I'm on a golf course, and I meet a guy that owns a condo here in Spain, and he offered it to me. Been coming back every year for the last 15 years.
So therefore, let's go to... Sorry, Ali.
No. I said there you go.
There you go. With just looking at the poll, it's changed somewhat. Trump's claim of talks with Iran, are we any closer to the end of the conflict? 1% think he is. We are. 22% think no, and 77% don't believe that they're in talks full stop. If you want to get your opinion across, these are the numbers.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
952 78 4000 indeed is the phone number if you want to get involved with the show. Just a thought about how this has all affected us personally. This whole thing. I mean, petrol costs. driving the white van.
Don't talk to me about petrol. I'm so angry about it.
Well, it's gone down.
I had to put petrol on last Friday or Saturday, I think it was. No, last Friday. The next day, the Spanish government announced measures where they would reduce the tax on it, and I paid $1.79, I think it was, for a litre of petrol. And the next day it was $1.48. So I'm particularly annoyed about having paid all that money. But how is it affecting us? Well, we are going to see inflation soaring again. We see the petrol prices, we see the energy prices. Governments are going to have to intervene, especially in Europe, where the cost of living it's already a problem. So that's why I said earlier that in Europe we're sitting here looking as spectators on a war that, I mean, Keir Starmer said it's nothing to do with us. Pedro Sanchez says no to war. All of the leaders are saying, this doesn't go with us. But we're sitting here suffering the consequences of it in a way that we are, sort of in a spiral of inflation that we don't know when it will stop. And if it stops, is it going to go back down? Because in some cases, you sort of, when prices go up, they tend to stay up and they don't come down. So are we going to be poorer because of this? I think that we will be.
952. Yeah.
But I mean, start crying now.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Sanchez has made remarks whether he needs to keep this at a level here in Spain. So at least we're not going to, because if you're looking at the way that the oil prices have been zigzagging, it was up to, when Trump made the remark yesterday about the fact they were in talks, it plunges to under $100 a barrel, and now it's back up over the top of them on a barrel. But yes, Alia.
Wait and see what happens at the end of the week with the oil prices.
Right.
There's a lot of fiddle-faddle going along in Washington at the moment. When he did this once before, the oil prices went down and then they went shooting back up again, also because of his rhetoric. Yeah. And then also another thing is, of course, the whole of that family are cashing in on all of this nonsense going on as well, but they're cashing in big time. I mean, what was his son Barron, who was 19?
When it was his 20th birthday, did you not send him a card the other day?
Oh, you didn't? Oh, Giles.
I wonder often the last few days how much money Trump and his cronies around him, how much money are making of all this dysfunction of the markets. And I guess they're making a lot of money. I mean, whatever. I mean, we have to worry about what we have in front of us. And what we have in front of us is a situation where another boost in inflation in Europe is going to be fatal for the economies. I mean, in Spain, we've been lucky in the last few years to have a reasonable growth, to put a stop to that, and maybe, as the predictions are, that we might enter into recession in the months and years to come. Is going to be devastating, but that generates more unemployment, and less resources for the welfare state, and everything else. And on top of that, you got Trump saying that we have to spend 5% of the GDP on defense. I'm sorry, for once, I'm in agreement with Pedro Sanchez, and that I wouldn't even consider that amount to pay on defense. It's absolutely ridiculous. And also, the simple concept to say you have to dedicate this amount of your GDP to defense. Hold on a second. Nobody spends money on say you have to spend this money. It's like saying go to the shop. You have to spend 200 euros on your shopping. No, you got to do your shopping and see what it will cost. It might cost 150. You don't need to spend 200. So the same on these. You don't have to spend 5%. What is needed, how much it will cost, and that is what we will spend. Not just a set amount of 5% of GDP. It's a ridiculous concept that I completely disagree with. And as I said, for once, the only thing I agree with Pedro Sanchez is that he won't budge on that. And I'm happy he doesn't, because governments in Europe we have got strong welfare states. We want to maintain those welfare states because it's our way of life. We don't want to jeopardize that. And we are broke, so we can't afford that kind of expenditure on defense because something will suffer. And I don't want health or education or infrastructures to suffer because we have to buy tanks to make someone scared of us. That's my stance anyway. You're welcome to disagree, which most people do.
952784000 is the phone number. Studio at TRE.radio is the email. The Facebook page is Talk Radio Official. You can WhatsApp me on +34 645 9967 95. Take a quick break and then back with more Viewpoint.
Viewpoint with
Giles Brown.
Always live, joined by Ali Babapuli, Ron Yates and Andres Gallardo. Should you want to get your viewpoint across?
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
Those are indeed the numbers if you want to get in touch with us, get your viewpoint across. It can be talk. We can talk about Trump. We can talk about something national or even local. If you've got a particular bugbear that is gnawing at you, then please let us know. We'd be delighted to discuss it. Morning, Giles. Every morning I turn on the radio, I hope that Trump is gone. He's the biggest liar in history. Nobody is above the law. Also, Netanyahu should be jailed for what he's doing. Nobody's above the law. That's Claudia from Necha. Good to have you with us as always. Claudia, it's going to be... Yes, this is the thing. Have you thought, panel? Not have you thought, panel, but have you thought, panel, about, he's 84 now, Trump. Now, I'm not saying he's in the... Sorry, he's not, isn't he?
I think he's just 80.
It's not 84.
Isn't he? Yeah. Right, sorry, that's fake news. So let me just rewind that nothing like doing your research, Giles. I don't know, where did that come from? Maybe it was Biden who was 84, maybe it was 100 now. Anyway, but one thing is, a lot of people have been discussing about his mental and his physical faculties, the strange bruising that's been appearing on his hand and behind his ear and whatever. He's 79? What, Ron is now showing me that...
Blood thinner pills.
Blood thinner pills.
That's what causes
Have you seen the feet?
Oh, hello. That'll be the White House right now.
Yes, coming to get me, FBI.
FBI, coming to get you. Right, so I'm on blood thinners, but
my keys went down the side of the seat in my car one time, and I went down, I guess, my whole hand all the way up here because there's metal and everything, and I had to dig around.
Yeah.
It took a week and a half before they disappeared, but then they come back again when you bang it on anything. It's
right. So it's
anybody that's on blood thinners will understand that.
Yeah. So they're just thinking about a lot of people are saying, well, this is this.
One of the things that was said during the election was that by the end of the term, I think it would be 82, 83. Perhaps because Joe Biden was, I can't remember what it was when he was going for re-election. It was 81, maybe 80, 81. So there wasn't a big difference in age, but obviously in the physical presence, Trump looked more in better condition than Biden. So, but of course, at that age, I imagine, I don't know because I haven't hit that age yet, but I imagine that you can go downhill very rapidly. So, in theory, in theory, according to the Constitution, should be his last term.
Right.
And in terms of his age, should also be his last term.
Here's the thing. It says that, a year into Trump's 4-year term, polls suggest the American people aren't just increasingly happy with his job performance, they're increasingly concerned about his mental capacity as well. He's 79 at the moment. Thank you. Biden was 81. sorry. Julie's just come in. 79 with a mental age of 3. Thank you, Julie.
I agree with that.
Okay. So Biden was 81 when he dropped out of the race, but it's a growing issue for the 79-year-old Trump. The most striking poll came ahead of Trump's first State of the Union address, his second term, where he beat his own record for the longest speech to Congress. The Reuters Ipsos poll showed 61% of Americans agreed that Trump has become erratic with age. Careful how you say it. Erratic with age. Even 30% of Republicans agreed with that. As the percentage of registered voters saying he wasn't mentally stable approached 50% in Quinnipiac polling following the attack on the US Capitol in 2021 never crested the majority, much less hitting 61%. But Trump is still nowhere as close to where Biden was. Only around a quarter of Americans said Biden was mentally sharp and able to deal with challenges when he dropped out of the race in July 2024. The survey showed the percentage saying Trump has the stamina and sharpness to serve effectively as president, declining from 53% in late 2023 to 46% now. So, yeah, I mean, should we be taking, I mean, he did, says the man who's blabbering away here on Viewpoint, but should we be worried about the fact that he does seem to sort of chop and change, or do we think he's always been this way? It's always been his style.
There was some conversation about his balance and stuff like that because of his age. Yeah. Well, Trump's doing the same thing. How many times have we seen on the news where Trump has fallen going up the stairs onto his plane and an escalator? You know,
there's a lot of things about that and Joe Biden, but Joe Biden is fit. The man was battling cancer, and he's come through it. Of course, you're physically going to be debilitated by that horrific disease. But it had nothing to do with his mental acuity. And apart from that, Biden had good people around him. Trump, look at his diet. I mean, we can see what he eats. Just alone that would have killed a normal person. I mean, I don't know what the doctors are pumping into him, probably embalming fluid or something to keep him going as he is. But the man is ill. And the problem is that the people around him are ill, and they're propping up this puppet who is disintegrating before our eyes, if you like it or not. Look at him. He's orange to start off with. He's got bruised hands.
There's nothing wrong with being orange. I mean, that's not. I mean, if you,
it's not
you know,
really the look of the moment.
We should defend all racism, whatever. Here, I will not have a word against our orange brothers.
I'm just talking about an orange colour and him denigrating the poor orange colour.
Any Dutch people listening?
No, got nothing to do with them. Don't worry about it.
I think he gets his diet suggestions from Kennedy, his Minister of Health.
Right.
Well, that's an oxymoron, isn't it?
Look, in Spain we get an army of pink people in the summer.
Yes, there you are. You see, I'm coming back to it. Pink going brown.
Yes, indeed, yes. 9-5.
Anyway, yes. Going back to Trump, I always thought from the very beginning when Trump appeared in the public opinion, my opinion is that Trump is intellectually challenged. He's got a lot of intellectual limitations. And proof of that is the use of the vocabulary that he has, which is, I said this before, and I've been shouted at for saying these, but I don't care. I still think he's got a limited vocabulary of a 12-year-old. Yes. And with that intellectual capacity, you cannot expect the man to be any better than what he is.
And to the lines we go. Morning, caller. You're live on TRE. What's your name? Where are you calling? What's your viewpoint, please?
Good morning, Giles. Good morning, Powell. It's John from Bella Vista.
Hi, John. How you doing? You sound like you're in a helicopter or something, my friend.
I've got my hands-free on, but I'm driving my little car. Yeah. No, I've got to protect Trump here. I mean, I've never known a president who works as hard as he does. I mean, he always has time for the press and like that. Let's compare him to Biden. Well, there is no comparison to Biden, is there? Biden couldn't string a sentence together. He couldn't find his way onto the stage. He was just mentally, suffering from dementia or whatever else. And he was not fit to be president, as we all knew at the time. Trump, on the other hand, I mean, he's mentally so sharp as a pin. Whether you like him or not, he works so hard. What do you expect of he's 79 now? I think he's not doing too bad for that age. I hope I can perform when I'm like that at that age.
All right.
How people can sort of, pull him apart when he's that age, considering the workload he's under. I mean, I think he's doing rather well.
Thank you for the call, and be careful on the roads there. It sounds like you've either pulled onto the lay-by or people are passing at great speed, or indeed you're passing them at great speed. But thank you very much for the call in.
All right.
Take care.
What workload? He goes off every weekend to play golf.
That could just
That's
be a cunning,
workload,
that could be
is
a
it?
cunning
Oh, I
ruse.
see.
A cunning
No,
ruse. He could
okay.
actually take his.
Yeah.
He likes to take his papers home with him. I mean, we know
Sorry?
that. He likes to take files home with him for the weekend. We know
Yes,
that.
he stashes them in the bathroom in Mar-a-Lago.
Well, where's he going to read? I mean, that probably
He
helps
can't
him.
read.
He just reads that and goes, blimey, and there you go. And that's solved many a medical problem in my time. I have some unredacted files, and you know, better than a whole thing of all brand that can be in the morning, couldn't it? It's exactly. Put a smile on your face and Andrew's just looking at me with that look of, I don't believe.
The biggest problem is down in the United States is there's so many millions of people who believe what this guy just talked about.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My language.
Thank you,
It's all
Ron.
quite all right. It's all right. That's okay. We're almost at the 11 o'clock watershed, so that's not a problem at all. But, you know, I mean, Mussolini used to leave a light on in his office in Rome all the time, and even
No,
though
he ended up being hunged, didn't he?
yeah, I know that,
Upside
but
down.
he was upside. Yes. Anyway, not that, of course, we would ever conduct.
Piazzale Loreto in Milan.
Yes.
I used to live there. Okay, but they removed the body by the time.
Yeah,
I arrived
exactly. Okay, let's go to this, and then I'll be back in a minute. Hang on.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
Right then, we're coming up to the end of the first half of this morning's Viewpoint. In the second half, we'll be back looking at those issues. And plus anything else you want to get to your viewpoint, let us know. The poll, by the way, just in case you are interested, the poll is currently running at Are we any closer with the Trump's claims of talks with Iran? Are we any closer to the end of the conflict? No, 25% of you. Don't believe you're actually in talks. 75% of you, so therefore it seems to be the majority of you are thinking it's fake news. Oh, ye little faith. Or are you like Jonathan, who thinks that President Trump is in fact working very, very hard indeed? Whatever it is, we'd love to hear your viewpoint. 952 78 4000 is the phone number. The next we go live to London for the international news, and then Bob for the national news here on TRE Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain. Back for the second half of Viewpoint after the break.
Talk Radio Europe.
Your voice in Spain. Discuss, challenge, inform, comment, viewpoint on Talk Radio Europe.
Giles Brown.
Live comment and discussion with studio guests. Viewpoint.
And welcome back to the second half of Viewpoint with me, Giles Brown. If you want to get involved with this morning's Viewpoint, then these are the numbers.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
Yes, indeed. Joined in the studio by Alia Babapule, Ron Yates, and Andres Gallardo. Let's look at some of the bits and pieces coming in. Since we were speaking today, there's a serious war going on affecting the world. And Trump visits Elvis Presley's home. It's not even a weekend. An extremely hard-working man. These coming in indeed. I've already gone through that one as well. This is from George. Hi, Giles. I expect the guy is planted, as in your Tuesday's programme, by Zionists as a mouthpiece in TRE, always defending, creating illogical excuses, etc. Good luck from George. Thank you very much for that one in George as well. President Dussin from CNN saying that President Trump's recent reversal on his big red line for Iran is prompting some questions on what exactly is motivating his decision-making. On Saturday evening, Trump said Iran had 48 hours to either open up the Strait of Hormuz and then strike all the global economy, or he would strike Iran's biggest power plant. By Monday morning, He said he'd give it 5 more days, citing improved negotiations with Tehran. But Iran has denied any dialogue with Washington, and where there's certainly no reason to not to take officials at the word, the diverging stories and Trump's own credibility problems open the possibility that something else motivated him to back down. This includes possible fears that such a move could escalate the war and global economic pain. Trump's critics are calling Trump's latest Trump's latest TACO, which is an acronym for Trump always chickens out. Not make America great again, but Trump always chickens out. That's difficult to prove, but the decision follows yet another undeniable Trump pattern. His announcement often seen conveniently tied to the open and close of financial markets. Trump said he was giving Iran more time shortly before the markets were due to open on Monday morning on what was bound to be a pretty brutal day in light of Trump's threats of escalation. Instead, it turned out to be a strong one, and he's repeatedly made these kinds of announcements at times that seem geared towards the markets, regardless of how substantive and lasting the declarations themselves turn out to be. A major one, of course, was his Liberation Day global tariffs on April the 2nd. The press conference was scheduled for 4 p.m. Eastern time, but after talking for a while, Trump announced the actual details shortly after markets closed at 4:30. Very interesting that he was making these remarks, which seemed to be it seems to be there's still about 12 hours for Trump left to suss out just how serious Iran was about its purported interest in a deal. That might have been wise given how much Trump has warned Iran can't be trusted. Why not make a bit longer just to make sure? But now Trump has conveniently delayed his own red line, as it happens, just until markets are closed for the weekend. So that is what that CNN are saying at the moment, and they're saying that he's applying his unpredictable style that built his business empire and political brand to a far more complex and sensitive role as a wartime leader. So those are some of the thoughts coming out there indeed. Just the saying panel, this coming in from there's a serious war going on, and Trump visits Elvis Presley's home, an extremely hard-working man. 952-788-4000 is the phone number. studio@tre.radio is the email. The Facebook page is Talk Radio Official. You can WhatsApp me on +34 645 99 67 95. If you're wondering what's coming up today, following me will be Stephen Ritson with Europe Today, as always. Also today, following Stephen will be Selena on her show today. She will be talking to Cole Zeisiger about a step-by-step to understanding and healing from relationship heartbreak. And then also it's Culinary Corner. No, it's not Culinary Corner today. What I'm talking about, excuse me, my mistake. She'll be talking first of all, she's talking to Avi Joseph, about your route out of perfectionism, self-sabotage and other everyday habits with CBT. And at 3:25, Ben Barbeck, Rise and Climb. Ben has lived a life shaped by trauma, trial and tenacity. Meanwhile, Hannah joins us with TR in the afternoon. She's chatting to Martin Milnes, who's co-hosting a new podcast with Peter E. Jones called Loving You, the Untold Sondheim podcast series. And also she's joined by Mary Lilsvaha, author of The Greatest Marketeer, and she'll be chatting to Johnny Ball, stories that must be told. Of course, if you were a child of the 70s or 80s, you know that Johnny Ball was a member of the Play-Away team and all that sort of stuff. And, of course, here, Think of a Number and Think Again, attracting huge audiences. He is... It's saying it's still a laugh. His life is still a laugh-a-minute adventure. Enjoy the ride. That's all happening. That's all happening today on TRE Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
Here's well, we're discussing the lunch options. I've just been watching. Okay. Did you want to give a quick plug for the chicken burger then? Come on, as you're on.
Yeah, I'll invite your audience to come and join us for lunch.
Be careful now. I'm not sure they get. They all fit in that telephone box. 952-78-4000 if you'd like to place an order with Ron's Rolling Buffet. Let's get away from what's been happening in the Gulf for a second. This was obviously broke yesterday. This attack on Jewish ambulances in London. The front pages in the UK have been saying, even the Express saying, let's end this ancient scourge. I mean, I saw some of the live pictures coming out of a gathering yesterday in North London. Suella Braverman was there from Reform UK, and sorry,
oh my goodness,
exactly, and quite a few people who were actually draped in the Union flag, which was an interesting one. But it is worrying, isn't it? It is a trifle dispiriting that you get these knuckle grinders on all sides who are just thinking, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to burn an ambulance. Because it belongs to a Jewish organisation. That's going to make that's good. Yeah, my Mossad agent here is grinning to himself because it's not going to make any difference in a hill of beans. And if you start burning down a mosque in Toronto or a synagogue in something or other, you burn these people are the lowest of the low, Aliyah, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely. Why an ambulance, no matter where it's coming from, it's taking people who have been hurt or are seriously ill or something dreadful has happened to them to get help for them. What on earth is this? The mindset of a certain type of people today is quite appalling. We've become, I keep saying this, and unfortunately people don't understand what I'm talking about. Years and years and years, the depravity with the human race has gone absolutely sky high in all sorts of ways. And depravity covers a lot of things. Stop grinning, Giles. And it is, if you look at the thing with the advent of social media, which has pushed all of this up.
That was what I was going to say. I was going to say that in my own depraved way. I was going to say that is.
And you see, when you get the social media putting out all sorts of rubbish for people to look at, and if they can't form a coherent thought themselves, they just follow blindly like the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Unfortunately, this is what people do. But why do an ambulance? For goodness sake, it's helping people. It doesn't matter where it's coming from.
Because it's coming from their family.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting to say that about, the thing about you saying with social media, because it becomes more apparent, or it becomes, people's views can be shot and filtered across the world in seconds. But one might argue that we have always been us, except that social media is now making it more visible. So now, and there's been a big thing this week about Louis Theroux and this documentary
Inside the Manosphere. Have you watched it?
I haven't.
It's quite
One of them is based in Marbella. With somebody called Mr. Tiki. Oh, you've watched it, have you?
I watched it,
Mr. Tiki Toki. Now we haven't. We're a broad church here on Viewpoint. But if you call yourself Mr. Tiki Toki, exactly, would you call yourself Tiki Toki?
Never. This is the first time I've ever heard it.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's the guy.
I try to avoid all that stuff on social media or TV anywhere.
Yeah.
You should watch the film, the documentary, because it is very, very interesting. Theroux doesn't do very much. He puts out a question and lets everybody just fall into this abyss of their stupidity, and it comes out perfectly. Absolutely wonderful.
Sociologically, it's very interesting to see the shift. The reaction to the woke culture, and it's a complete clash. So you're going the furthest point away from reason that you can, and a lot of young followers. Well, I was amazed at these people who apparently are famous with the age group of 14 to 18-year-olds who know them all. I didn't know who they were. I was watching the program and said, well, these people, never heard of them. But these kids in the street, they were stopping them and asking for selfies and everything else. So these guys are really influential to very young people who are vulnerable, to say the least.
But this is young males, This is young males mainly, isn't it? Let's face it.
It's young males, yeah.
This is
well, this is what appears in the program. I don't know if
this is propagating hate and misogyny.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely. It's just incredible how. And also the women who were in the girlfriends who were in the program, how they accept the position they've been put into. To you look after the house. I provide for you, so you have to provide for my pleasure and my comfort. Totally, sort of disregarding their intellectual abilities or any freedom that they want to exercise. So it's a kind of they're describing a kind of society that you would see in places like Iran, funnily enough, where women are...
Or Afghanistan, more likely.
No, Afghanistan. Iran.
In the Western world. So, and that seems to be okay with an awful lot of people, because the amount of followers that they said in the... I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, they said the amount of followers that they have is just amazing, and you think, wow, how can that kind of attitude and ideology can be so popular with young people?
Have you read The Handmaid's Tale?
Margaret Atwood. I've yet to, yes, I know.
One has to read that to understand the mindset which is happening in a certain stratosphere of people.
Here's the thing, okay, and as because 3/4 of the people in the studio today were once teenage boys, okay? And I'm not presuming that, because Ali, let's not even go there. But what I'm saying is, but being a teenage boy is a very weird thing to be. I mean, you're not fully formed. You've got bits going off and your hair's sprouting everywhere and all sorts of strange boils and whatever the quote. At least I was. I don't know about you, but I mean, that's just me. But you know what I mean. But if you're a teenage boy in the 80s, you listen to goth music and painted military figures. Or again, that's just me. It's a very strange time to be, and you're very influential. And you're trying to work out your role in the world. And most of us write bloody awful songs on a guitar for a girl that we really fancy and we'll never actually get to go out with. There you go. Thus, Andreas, you're looking at me like the Mossad agent that you are. However, and Ron was just put to sea in a boat, and that was it.
I have 4 grandsons.
Exactly. So
3 have just passed the teenage years.
Right.
And I still have one that's 16.
But it's a very strange... And teenage girls, luckily, have the wisdom of the ages, obviously, in their DNA, he said, hopefully. But you see, the thing is, so you are looking for a reason why the girl in your class won't go out with you. And, once upon a time, you would read books about it or write awful songs or poetry. Thank goodness I burned my books. But this lot... because we now have unfettered access to the internet, which is supposed to be this great thing that was going to improve all our minds, the world's literature would be available, the great thoughts of mankind would be available at the end of one's palm. But now, of course, we've got this lot who are going... I
like this lot.
Yeah, who are basically saying... And these are grown men. Let us not be thinking about this. Andrew Tate and all the rest of his Pond Life friends are grown men, and they are saying the reason that you haven't got... Look at me. If I was a 13-year-old boy, I think that Andrew Tate is the best thing. He's got a Bugatti. He can have pizza when he wants. He goes to bed at whatever time. And again, I go back to my own callow youth. When I was watching Arnold Schwarzenegger films, and that was my idea of the perfect woman, because she was, Princess. Carrie Fisher in Star Wars is not a Jabba the Hutt's thing. Isn't there because of the magnificent acting prowess? Because when you're a 14-year-old boy and the phone goes off, that's what you think you are going to be into. However, we've got these guys who are saying, if I'm a 14-year-old boy and I see Andrew Tate with a Bugatti and a pizza and, rent a bimbo, then therefore you think that's the high point of modern culture. And the lines have gone crazy, so who knows what's going to come in on the airways. But I go, morning, caller, you're live on TRE. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your viewpoint, please?
Morning, Giles. Peter.
Morning, Peter.
Good morning. You didn't read my text?
Well, yeah, but I want to get back to it because I want to have a think about that one before we come in. Is that your motorbike?
Finger on the fader. Sorry,
is that your motorbike then? I'm looking. There's a picture of you.
Yes.
Alive?
Was.
Well, that is quite something.
Yeah. Well,
how did you turn the wheel on that beast then? Is my next question. Yeah.
Well, I just thought it went through the Straits of Hormuz and nice and slow. And
yes, indeed. And using most of the world's oil revenue on as you went past it. It seems to have listeners. I would say that is it's not a VW tyre, is it? That's quite bigger than a VW tyre on that, because most people.
It's a 20-inch front wheel on a hand-built Harley Davidson lowrider.
Anyway, right, no, because you see, the thing is, Peter, when you come, I have to think very carefully about what you kind of mean when you talk about people straightening their hair and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I've heard nothing but racist and misandrous comments so far this morning.
Okay,
and I was wondering.
How do you say racist, my friend?
Sorry.
How are we being racist?
But. Not you. Right. The lady on your panel was talking about pink people. The lady on the panel was talking about pink people. I say lady. The woman on the panel, because a lady wouldn't do that. A woman on the panel is talking about pink people trying to make themselves dark to look like black people and the stupidity of that. When what I question is, if I came on and said that why do black women straighten their hair to try and look like white people, I think I'd have got shot down in flames.
Right.
And all we've heard this morning is lack of cognitive awareness, stupid vocabulary, short on vocabulary. Now, if I came on and said the woman in the Democratic Party, like AOC and that, don't have a decent vocabulary, that they're stupid and they should never be able to run the country, I again would be shot down in flames.
Well, you just said it. You just said it. So, so therefore,
and why is it? Why is it Trump is so stupid that he doesn't have a plan and he doesn't know what he's doing?
Yeah.
Yet he's got such a plan that he's making a fortune for him and his family because he's so clever in manipulating the world. So I don't get the two.
Right.
So being a grifter is clever, is it?
Sorry.
So being a grifter is clever.
A grifter.
Yeah.
A grifter.
I call it an earner. I call it a money getter.
Oh, fine. Yes, whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, whatever. Well, because you won't discuss it because all it is you're going to tell them I'm stupid.
About me being. You don't even know my colour. I happen to be a brown person, and people want to get my colour.
You told us that.
And I'm just making. You are pink. You are pink people. You're not white.
But why do black women straighten their hair and try to look like white people?
They don't. I can do my hair and make it. I can make my hair curly if I want to.
But does that make them stupid?
Okay, everybody take a breath.
Oh, boy.
Everybody breathe. Hang on. No, keep it quiet. I'm from Mossad Agent New. Yes, go on. Right.
Does that make them stupid?
Peter, if somebody's trying to respond to you, why don't you just be quiet and
hang on. Well, everybody take a breath. Right. Okay. Now, Peter.
Yes.
Right. So, well, you've certainly got the panel woken up. I'll give you that, my friend.
Well, the thing is, Giles. Sorry to interrupt on you, but the thing is, you were talking about this Louis Theroux thing. I don't know about it.
The manosphere.
But the thing is by giving it credit, or even talking about it, you're giving it credit. Now, your panel sit there and say, oh, they all learn it off of social media, they're stupid and all this. Yet they watch the stupid social media, and they quote the social media about Trump being stupid, Trump being yellow, Trump having... So they just do exactly what they're telling people they shouldn't be doing. And at the moment, if you go onto OnlyFans, you'll find plenty of women doing exactly what the men are doing. And if you understood social media, if you understood clickbait, as this show with your panel now, whenever they're on, you never get a phone call ever, because they just sit there and slag off people, and it's pretty stupid, pretty dumb, and there's nothing being learned and nothing being explained. So if you understood social media, you understood clickbait, you wouldn't have them on, and you'd have someone on that would spark a conversation. Now, these young lads are doing exactly, they've seen people and they're doing it. They probably go home to their wives and sit there and don't say boo to a goose, but they're earning money. And we all know, if you know how social media works, if you know how YouTube works, if you know how it works, they're earning money.
Yeah.
It's like a Ponzi scheme. They don't earn the fortunes they say they do, but they're getting small amounts of money for everybody that clicks onto their sites, and they're earning money. The girls do it on OnlyFans. Yeah. And for the BBC and so-called legacy media to jump on that and start talking about that as if it's real, I've never met anyone in my life. I saw something the other day called, was it called Lux something, face luxing or something,
right,
where these young men are trying to make themselves look beautiful. Big, long, in-depth thing on the BBC. Never heard of it. Right. But give it 6 months, 9 months, and they'll be talking about, they'll be saying about these vain young men. But they'd have earned their fortune and moved on.
Peter.
So, on that, I'll leave you. To be honest, Giles, I cannot... Your show just is sinking and sinking and sinking.
Right.
I mean, we've got World War III on. We can discuss the plans, what we think's going on, what's not going on, and all we get is stupid. Lack of conversation. Can't do this, can't do that. Not one of them can actually turn around and say what they think should happen, shouldn't happen, maybe what is happening. But I'll leave you on that. That's
Thank you, Peter. And thanks for the call in. 95784 is the phone number. studio@tre.radio is the email. Facebook page is Talk Radio Official. Panel.
I was just going to ask Peter if there was anything in the world, whether it be legal, financial, whatever it may be, is there anything that he doesn't have 100% knowledge of the whole thing? Like he just knows everything.
Listen, it's a wide church.
Or he's full of shit.
It wouldn't have been the same, Ron, for you before you went back to Canada. We were just saying about Peter will call in, and thus it came to pass. Now the reason that we're talking about the look at this, look at that. Oh, blimey! The thing is, okay, with things like as Peter was saying, oh well, the thing is they're earning money and they've got their followers and they've got their OnlyFans for the girls. By the way, the guy behind OnlyFans passed away yesterday. Believe it or not, 43 years old, cancer. But the thing with OnlyFans is you can have a channel where you talk about your collection of garden gnomes. No, it's not called Nomi Fans, but what I'm saying is that was the original idea. So you could say, if you want to find out about more of my collection of gnomes, click on the link beneath and become a subscriber, right? And that was the original idea. But of course, what's happened is, lots of ladies of negotiable virtue, whatever you want to call them, say, click on my link below to see more of me, he said, in the broadest possible terms. And the thing is, though, we go back to us, but I have goddaughters. You have daughters and granddaughters and the whole grandsons. And this has an effect of skewering, because when we grew up, there were only 3 channels in the UK, if that, right? And so therefore anything else was either top shelf, which I couldn't reach because I've always been a small child. But what I'm saying, it was Snigger, somebody's got a magazine, and that's how you form your opinion of women, or you form your opinion of what being a man is. And my point to here was, great, they're earning money, and good luck to them, I'm giving them more followers, but it is skewing the way that we are a generation of young people are approaching everything to do with relationships, to do with toxic masculinity, about how you interact in social situations, and that is the problem. Not the fact that you go out and you charge people, whatever it is, $5.99 to see more pictures of me, or whatever it is, or that you have this thing that you think women should be. I mean, for goodness sake, the Franco government was saying that for years and years and years. But the fact is that's going to skewer whole generations. Andres, you're nudging sagely at me.
No, I just wanted to say, with regards to the program, first of all, and the subjects here, these subjects are current affairs, and that's what the program is all about, So the fact that we've got people in social media with the great following influencing young people is a current affair, and we're commenting on it. You might disagree with what we say, and that's fine to disagree with it, but you can't, say, we are commenting on something that we shouldn't comment on, because it's a current affair, so we're commenting on that. The other thing that he said about Trump making money, and it's all right for him making money. Okay, I'm all for business people to make money and to do business and everything else. But when you're the president of the United States and you're influencing the market, and I believe that perhaps in the background you're making money out of that influence that you're executing over the market, I think that is not right. And on that note, I'll let you go onto the telephone.
Morning, caller, you're live on TRE. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your viewpoint, please?
Yes, morning, Giles. It's Gary here.
The Bard of Pompey. How are you, sir? Etc. Yeah.
I'm behind a lady in a DIY shop that hasn't got a bloody clue what she's doing.
Right, fair enough.
So if I can just come back.
Yeah, come back.
If I can just come back on the conversation about 10 minutes ago.
Right.
Not all men, for those listening, not all men are like that manosphere program. Not all men are like that, and not all women are angels, believe it or not. I'll get a lot of stick. I think people need to calm down and get in the real world, because I'll take a lot of stick off my wife's friends, or they try and give me it, for not doing my own cooking, etc. But then again, as I always say, my wife doesn't change the overhead camshaft or clean the drains out, so I can't see nothing wrong with that. But it's I wish people would keep out of other people's lifestyles. A lot of it is obviously my old bugbear, is the old social media, and if we didn't have that, the youth of today certainly wouldn't have half the problems. But and of course, people. Go on.
No, it's all right. Sorry, I thought you were getting blown away in the outdoor, in the pergola section there.
No, I was going to say the woman's picked the wrong trowel, and she hasn't got a clue, actually.
Oh, wow.
She's using it, yeah. I mean, but let's not go there. I'm just really trying as hard as possible not to swear. But we'll leave it there, shall we?
You leave it there, Gary. Good to hear from you as always, Pompey. 952 78 4000. It's to the WhatsApps we go. Ding! And, I'm just sorry, Ron. Ron. I won't say my daughter is with an idiot like in the programme. She's not talking to me because I told him about himself. Okay? Blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, please don't ever get him on your panel. I think you'll lose too many listeners. Thank you very much. Has it ever occurred that the reason listeners aren't ringing in to argue with your panel is because they agree with what they're saying? Some people don't ring in just to hear the sound of their own voice. Thank you very much for that one indeed. 95270. Let me take a quick break because we haven't done our break yet. We've only got 26 minutes left of this morning's Viewpoint.
Viewpoint with Giles Brown.
Always live, always lively, stabilisers and everything. 952 78 4000 is the phone number. studio@tre.radio is the email. You can WhatsApp me on +34 645 99 67 95, or you can WhatsApp me. No, sorry, let's start again. Call me 952 78 4000. Email me, studio@tre.radio. The Facebook page is Talk Radio Official. You can WhatsApp me on +34 645 99 67 95. I'm just wondering about straightening my hair, Ron. You and I should have a hair straightening. Oh, but of course you've got a hairdresser waiting for you when you get back, haven't you?
Yes, my grandson will look after it.
Your grandson will look after it.
Yeah.
But if whether you agree with us, you disagree with us, or you can't give two hoots, it's good to hear from you anyway. To the Facebook page we go. You see how the poll is going. 24 minutes left of this morning's Viewpoint. The poll at the moment, we're saying that, do we believe Trump's claims of talks with the Iran army close to the end of the conflict. So we got 1% yes, no 23%, and don't believe they're in talks 76%. One person who'd be very good at these talks. Morning to you, caller. You're live on TRE. Where are you calling from? What's your viewpoint, please?
Morning, Giles. It's Alf.
Morning, Alf.
Morning, panel.
Morning, Alf.
Morning, Alf.
Hey, Ron, I'm sad to see you going back to Canada. I'm sure it's warmer than what it is here.
Not quite yet.
Oh, it's cold here, too. It's horrible.
Right, so
horrible.
You've heard some of the viewpoints in this morning's show. What's on your mind, Alf?
Well, strangely enough, for the third week running, I'm going to say that I don't agree with everything he says, but I'm agreeing with what Peter
really
was trying. Yeah,
really?
Of course. Because some of it is and has been nonsense, and sometimes you should draw back from what you really think and think about what you're going to say before you say it. So Alia said quite clearly that Britain suffered when nobody wanted to come over as immigrants to pick crops.
Oh, this is a while back.
Immigrants have never been in Britain picking crops. Never. Okay?
Hey, Alf, it's the USA. The USA, not Britain.
No, you said okay.
USA.
So it's different in the UK, is it?
When we talk, but this is a while back, though, Alf, isn't it?
Yeah, and nobody wants to do the job that immigrants do, since whatever it was that happened, and you go, I've never heard such nonsense. People, and I'm not even sure it applies to America. I've never been to America. I don't pay a lot of attention. It's one of those, let's keep out of the way because they do more damage than good as far as I'm concerned. And working in British industry, I can't begin to tell you how much damage Americans over the years caused to British industry with their whimsical things, silly things. Kodak Films decide, we're going to move our process into Brussels or somewhere, and they wipe out 5,000 jobs in the UK without any concern of any of the workers in Britain. Unbelievable. And they used to do it all the time. But part of what you've been doing, and the same thing, Andreas has said consistently, and he may agree with it, but Trump has got no plan. And I tried to explain, I obviously didn't do it very well last week. Trump did have a plan. Unfortunately, his plan couldn't come to fruition because the rest of the Western world wouldn't join in with him. And I said it quite clearly, and I'll say it again. If Trump or Israel had gone to the United Nations to get a resolution to sort out Iran, everybody knows it would have been blocked. It would have been blocked by Russia, it would have been blocked by China, it would have been blocked by India. You name it, they would have blocked it. So he sees, and Israel sees, no point in going to the United Nations. Now, I'm not saying they're correct in what they're doing, but you can't say they didn't have a plan. They had a plan, and the plan was to ignore the United Nations because they didn't want to get blocked. The second part of their plan, because nobody in their right mind thought that Iran wouldn't fight back. Nobody. Not even the Americans. Nobody. And Israel were really quite prepared for them to come back at them. And not only are they semi doing their covert stuff through Mossad in Iran, but they're now kicking the hell out of Hezbollah in Lebanon to get that out of the way as well, according to them. And again, I won't say I agree with it, but don't say they don't have a plan. Oh, they have a real plan. You don't spend £1 million an hour firing missiles into a country to not have a plan that's going to, what is it they said? They fired more missiles into Iran on one day than Ukraine have had to defend themselves in the 4 years of their war. That's what's happening. So don't say they didn't have a plan. The second part about this bit of, where the oil has to come out, and Claudia said last week, I don't know where he comes from or what he reads. Saudi Arabia are okay because they've got a pipeline that goes across the desert to the Red Sea, so they can still get their oil out. Saudi Arabia are exporting around about 100 million barrels a day. The pipeline that goes across the desert, the maximum it can take is 40 million barrels. So it's not even going to take half of the oil that they want to export. So they are being affected and they are concerned. And not only that, the pipeline that exists, they've never run it at full capacity and they're not sure it can cope with full capacity. So people should stop saying things that are not true. And whether it's America or whether it's England or wherever it is, we don't have immigration based on people coming over picking strawberries or whatever you think they do. They are temporary. I'll tell you where the immigrants, go to Thetford and see the Portuguese. Go to Portugal and see the Italians. Go to Sheffield and see the Polish.
Yeah.
All around Britain there are huge communities. And on top of that, go to North London and see a whole, Jewish community. There's not one Jewish community. There's about 4 different types of Jewish people. Fantastic work that they do for their community. It's just unbelievable how you can just centre it all on and there's this media stuff. I've got 2 older kids. Sorry, my daughters are all obviously got their own families. I've got two boys who are in their 20s. 3 of them are teenagers. All of this media influence is, I think, mainly because the parents and the adults don't talk to these kids to say this is what it really means. They're not. Nobody says you've got to turn off that thing, stop watching that. We sit there telling our kids, don't watch that on the telly, that's nonsense on the media. Don't do that. So, let's get back to some sensible conversation stuff. It's not about having no plan. That's nonsense. They've got a plan, it's just not coming out how he wants to. I would like Peter said, where is the end? I asked this question when we started about Gaza. What's the end product? How does it finish? Where does it go to? Is it about, and I'll tell you, the only way that there's going to be anything going on between Iran and the rest of the world, never mind about America, is with diplomacy and talking and arriving at an agreement. If that doesn't happen, there will never be, and let's face it, how many centuries? How many centuries has this gone on for? This isn't something that's a 2-week-old war or a month-old conflict. This has gone on for centuries, and it will never stop. You will never stop anti-Semitism. What you can do is control it and try to dampen it down and try to get people to live community to community in harmony. But you'll never stop it. You won't stop people being misogynists. You won't stop. You can't stop people doing it. You can have. It's illegal almost everywhere in the world to kill somebody.
Yeah, got some more calls.
It happens.
Another word, stop.
Got some more calls. Got some more calls.
Okay, Ron, I can hear you in the background.
All right, thanks for that. Thanks for that indeed. Bye. 952784000 is the phone number. studio@tre.radio is the email. That call's coming off. Hang on a second.
Viewpoint on Talk Radio Europe with Giles Brown.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
To the lines we go. Morning, caller, you're live on TRE. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your viewpoint, please?
Hi, it's Peter from Isnaka.
Hello, Peter from Isnaka. How are you doing?
Fine. I messaged him before, but obviously I was just down out of a palm tree, so trying to message.
We get our callers from all. Some of you guys are in hardware stores. Some of you are at palm trees. I wonder how you get this. What can I do for you, Peter, up a palm tree?
Okay, right. So for me, I messaged him to say my daughter, my wife's daughter, is with someone who's into the manosphere. Now, I've been an arborist all my life. I've been in a very, shall we say, rough and tumble occupation. Grew up in London initially in a not so nice area. These guys are just another level. They're just grifters. They're horrible. I told him about himself, is what I said, which is West Indian term from a lot of the people I used to work with, which they didn't like, because I called him out on all the horribleness that they spout out, and the fact that I saw my parents work together all their life as a team. They both work, and he expects her to do all the cooking, all the cleaning, all the washing, and I just basically, like I said, told him about himself, because it's just wrong. These guys are just wrong. And then you look at Trump, he's just wrong. He's not a human being. He's just like one of your colleagues said, a grifter. Horrible people. Can't stand them. But anyway, I've got to go back up a tree now.
Well, listen, thank you for coming down from a palm tree to let me know, Peter.
Enjoy the trees.
Enjoy the trees. It might be the safest place to be. Thank you very much for your call in. 952 78 4000. This in from Roberto. Good morning, Roberto, on studio@tre.radio. I played golf last week with a couple from Canada. Hurrah. They always go to Florida, but chose to come to Spain and travelled and spent time here for 3 weeks. A lot more expensive, they told me, but they would not spend it in the US. Also, why doesn't Trump just go at the age of 80 and play golf all day at his courses?
He does that now.
He just think... No, he won't be around for long at his rate if travelling and working. He's bound to have a heart attack. Thank you, from Roberto. So there we go. And to the lines we go again. You see, paneling to get the word in edgeways. Morning, calling you live on TRE. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your viewpoint, please?
Yeah, Charles, it's Gary here again.
Hi, Gary. Did you get a trowel in the end?
Can I get back to this woman in the DIY shop? She's only using a metal drill to drill through plasterboard, and when I've tried to advise her, she said, I'm controlling. You can't win, can you?
I think there's that beat was the background was for awful jokes, Gary. I think that was your first.
And
one.
also,
yes, go on.
And also,
go on, tell me, my friend.
I'm shocked and amazed that Peter's starting to become Alpha's starting to become Peter's friend. When he said that workers didn't go to England, I suggest he goes to East Anglia and see all the foreign workers there picking things, etc. Anyway, I'm getting back to this woman into the queue in the DIY
your hardware store. Okay, you have a lovely time there. There we go. You see, up a palm tree in a hardware store. Don't say we haven't got a wide range of. This is why we don't leave the studio. You see, panel, because it's a mad world out there. Yeah, you're looking at me to say absolutely. Hang on.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
Somebody's coming here saying on the WhatsApp, saying, "What is this? Is this a Democrats loving?" I don't know, but you've got a picture. Okay, you've got Christ and... Oh, it's the Knights Templar. Excellent. He's holding his sword the wrong way up. Anyway, marvellous. Okay.
My blood pressure goes up.
Your blood pressure goes up. Anyway, thank you for the Democrats loving. Meantime, this one as well... sorry. Easy, Tiger. As I've got older... Here comes the voice of reason. As I've got older, I feel the need to understand other people's opinions and the path they've walked... This show is Viewpoint, and everybody is... I haven't written this... This isn't me, by the way. This show is called Viewpoint, and everyone is entitled to an opinion. I do like to listen to Peter's views, but not his dogmatic approach for brushing aside everyone else's with his assumption he's always right. I have a family and who work in high government, and believe me, he's not. Okay. And by the way... There are men on OnlyFans too. So there you go, ladies. Just in case we're any... It's all right. I wouldn't expect you to. I'm just getting over... I'm just getting over the picture of the Lord Christ and Knights Templar together. That's really pushed my buttons. Anyway, moving swiftly onwards. Andres!
I wonder if I'll get any clicks on OnlyFans for men. No, I was just going to go. I don't know.
So anyway, we're into this last 7 minutes.
Clicks, no, or what? Anyway, I was going to say with regards to the immigration and where are deployed in the economy, and one thing that is clear, certainly in Spain, I know parts of the UK as well, and certainly in the United States, a lot of the immigration that comes into the country are deployed work-wise in the primary sector, which tends to be agriculture or livestock and everything else. In Spain, you see it. If you move around Spain, you go to the area where I come from, for instance, which is an area where there's loads of fruit and grain and that kind of thing. From the mid-80s onwards, it's been mainly Africans who work in there. If you look at Huelva, which is just around the corner from here, down the road, you've got the strawberry fields and everything else. Not the Beatles song.
Okay, but the thing to shout forever. I had to hold myself back there, Andres.
Yeah, I walked into that one.
You got strawberry fields, yeah.
You've got a lot of the Moroccans that they come here, and funnily enough, they come legally with their contracts to work. You know, if you go to France to the vineyards, you see a lot of the immigrants going to work those, and in the United States is the same. So I don't know why. Someone who called in, mainly Alf, said that it's not the case, because that is the case. The primary sector is, which, you know, it's a hard job. But anyone can do it because you don't need the language skills. You don't need particular skills other than when they show you how to sort of pick the fruit or whatever.
The grape pickers of Bordeaux, I can hear them hammering on the bulletproof windows, Andres.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say, it is quite real that some of the migration, not all of it, but a large part of the migration end up in the primary sector, and that's the way it is in Europe and in America. I just want to make that point.
We are that way in Canada. We have millions of immigrants that come over, and without our farms, I don't know what they would do. We'd have to close down all of them. They're all immigrants. And we have a lot of immigrants, a lot of people from Mexico come to Canada now, and they're working in restaurants.
Yeah. Well, obviously,
and the restaurants are bringing them in and looking after their accommodation.
Has there been a wave of Nuevo Mexican cuisine in Toronto? Tell me, because this could be a clincher for me and Ali coming over.
No, it's not that it's a big. They're cooking our menus.
Yeah. Let me just loosely link that situation with the situation of these influencers of the manosphere.
This will be good. Come on, I'm waiting for this.
Who are promoting the quick buck, very little work, very little effort on schemes that, as someone said, I can't remember who, these Ponzi schemes where they don't earn any money, but it seems that they sort of portray a life of luxury, working very little, surrounded by women. That doesn't encourage the skill that is necessary in the workforce, and we are left with a situation where we need more immigrants to cover for what kids are not doing, because they dedicate their lives to their social media accounts, and it's a funny way of linking the two, but there is an element of
so we're breeding a generation of TikTokers, basically, or
pseudo TikTokers. There's a thought.
But we are. I mean, if you look around at the younger generation, they are not thinking of sort of following a path where they get education and then they
accept the children of immigrants.
They want to make a quick buck, doing very little on TikTok. And that's what we are encouraging.
My comment about the immigrants wasn't for Britain. It was actually about the USA, because they are suffering horribly as there are no people who are picking the crops. And you see it if one wanted to look and do a bit of research, you would find the videos and news broadcasts showing the farmers saying, we voted for MAGA and we never thought this was going to happen to us, and et cetera, et cetera. And of course it's going to happen to us, because they're rounding up everyone who's doing the picking. And there is no more food coming on. It's a huge problem, massive one.
It is also true that the necessity is to regulate that kind of workforce coming from outside the country, like they do. I just mentioned in Huelva with the strawberry picking. They come here with contracts and sort of completely legalized and everything. And if we can do it, if we could export that model to other parts of the country and other parts of Europe, we could have a better managed immigration and better productivity from the immigrants when they're here, rather than roaming the streets finding something to do.
Right then, just going to go to if you want to get a final viewpoint, we've only got less than 2 minutes, so let's have a quick look.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95. Message us on Facebook, Talk Radio Europe Official, or tweet us at TRE Talk Radio.
Right then, we've come to the end of the bowl of bowls this morning. I asked the question, with Trump's claims of talks with Iran, are we any closer to the end of the conflict? 1% of you think that we are. 21% of you think that we are not. And 78% of you think that they aren't in talks at all. So there we go. So don't believe the fake news, people. And as a member of the legacy media, who's often out to sort of plot the downfall of the Western world, I can say that exactly. Illuminati, unwanted wealth. And you've seen my Lamborghini outside, haven't you, Rod? It's quite something.
Yes. I did.
You like it?
If it comes from Trump or it comes from Fox News, you know that it's false.
Exactly. It's a Lamborghini with a Morris Minor engine. Right, then almost that time. And once again, it's been a pleasure and a privilege. Thank you for all your comments in. It is called Viewpoint. My thanks to the lovely Alia Bubapuli.
Welcome.
That was okay.
No, I'm just very annoyed, actually.
You're annoyed, are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I don't like being called stupid.
Okay.
By a certain person.
Okay.
And
chicken burger will fix it.
The chicken burger will fix that. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
But I don't like being called stupid, and I take offence at that.
Well, Nadia,
but I will come back
apologise.
again.
Thank you very much.
It's not your fault.
You're the first lady to ever say that to me, but there you go. And of course, our own very little spy in the House of Love, Andres Gallardo. Andres,
thank you very much, Giles. I'm not offended by anyone or anything.
Are you?
I've seen everything. So,
and can we give it up to the nicest man in radio, ladies and gentlemen? We'll have him back at the end of this year as well. Ron, thank you so much for coming in again today.
Thanks for the invite. Yes.
Right, this show's going to be repeated. This show will be repeated at 6 o'clock. Stephen Ritson's up next. Have a lovely day. I'm back tomorrow with Let's Talk from 10 o'clock.
Expressed on Viewpoint by invited studio guests and callers do not constitute an opinion endorsed in any way by Talk Radio Europe.
You've been listening to a TRE production. If you've enjoyed this program, there'll be another episode waiting for you next week, right here on this platform, where you can also access our extensive back catalogue of shows and interviews. For more information on our live programming, social media channels and apps, and how to contact Talk Radio Europe, please visit tre.radio.